December marks the perfect closure for Lionel Messi, champion of the MLS Cup with Inter Miami, the one trophy missing from his cabinet. And now, the question that no one dares to say aloud echoes in every stadium across the United States. Can a 38-year-old player, competing in a league many still consider inferior, reach the next World Cup as a real favorite to lift it? The Argentina shirt on one side, Miami's on the other, and the World Cup trophy glowing in the background of every conversation. Messi is ready, but why? What do they know in Miami that the rest of the world doesn't? In this video, you'll discover three things. First, the secret behind why Messi runs less but is deadlier than he ever was at PSG. Second, the diet and physical regime in Miami that's keeping him fitter than ever at 38. And finally, the secret pact with Tata Martino to manage his minutes and keep injuries away. Stay until the end of the video, and you'll understand everything. When Messi arrived in Miami in July 2023, the narrative was simple. Golden retirement, the final stop before hanging up his boots, a beautiful farewell without competitive demands. 2 years later, that story has been completely rewritten. Former Argentina teammates have recently said they see him better than ever, fully capable of being decisive in every big match, and that the MLS hasn't weakened him but refined him, turning the league into a personalized laboratory. But here's the detail that breaks everything we thought we knew about athletic decline. Messi now runs fewer kilometers per match than at any other stage of his career, yet his goals and assists remain at elite levels. How is it possible that running less makes him more decisive? The answer lies not in raw talent, which was always there, but in an invisible tactical transformation that began the day he stepped into Inter Miami's training complex. At PSG, Messi ran because the system forced him to. High pressing, fast transitions, a fragmented locker room where every star played their own game. In Miami, the tactical design revolves around a surgical premise. Protect every ounce of Messi's energy so he can explode in the exact seconds that decide matches. During the just-finished season that ended with the MLS Cup title, Messi's heat maps revealed something fascinating. He stays in a very narrow area on the pitch, almost motionless for long stretches, and when the ball reaches his feet, 3 or 4 teammates have already done the dirty work of recovery and progression. Busquets, Alba, and the defensive unit act as his shield bearers, not merely his teammates, a crucial distinction. In a recent interview, Inter Miami fans compared the locker room environment to Argentina's World Cup in Qatar. Everyone dives for tackles, everyone sacrifices for the number 10, an emotionally bonded group where tactics become almost secondary. Messi doesn't need to run 15 kilometers if his teammates are running 20 for him. And what does that mean for World Cup 2026? That Argentina can replicate this extreme protection model in a short competition, 7 matches at most, where physical freshness in the final 30 minutes can define glory or heartbreak. But there's a deeper layer most overlook. His reduced distance covered isn't laziness or coincidence, it's biomechanical engineering. Every sprint Messi doesn't make is a micro-tear prevented, an inflammation avoided, a recovery day saved. Tactical analysts studying his MLS season highlight something revolutionary. Messi has turned his body into a high-performance asset managed like a Formula One car. He only accelerates when his emotional and physical fuel are perfectly aligned. At PSG, he was used constantly for visibility. In Miami, it's the opposite. Tactical invisibility for 80 minutes, decisive explosion in 10. That philosophy was born from a key meeting between Miami's coaching staff, medical team, and Messi himself in his first weeks there. The question asked was brutally simple. Do we want Messi to shine every week in MLS or arrive intact at the World Cup? The answer shaped everything that followed. During the title campaign, Messi was often subbed off as soon as Inter Miami had control of a match, unthinkable at Barca or PSG, where ratings dictated minutes. Those substitutions weren't tactical whims. They followed a written protocol where every minute played is tracked, analyzed, and cross-referenced with fatigue thresholds. The MLS, knowingly or not, became the ideal testing ground. Less physical than Europe, a denser calendar but better recovery gaps, and, thanks to Apple TV's media structure, a calmer environment free from the daily tabloid chaos. Messi can disappear for 3 days without scandal. In Barcelona, that was impossible. And this mental rest matters as much as his legs. Because the psychological strain of constant scrutiny is as destructive as physical wear. Miami has restored something Messi had lost in Paris. Operational peace, the freedom to focus entirely on what matters, the ball and the perfect decision. But the transformation isn't just tactical, it's biological. Miami isn't just beaches and sun, It's a hub for high-performance sports medicine, serving NBA and NFL stars, and now football's most monitored athlete. When Messi landed in Florida, he brought his own medical team, who integrated seamlessly with local specialists to create what some call the most extreme body optimization program ever applied to an active footballer. The public version, the one that circulates on social media, says Messi eats well, sleeps 8 hours, and trains moderately. That story is convenient because it's easy. The reality: Messi lives under continuous biometric monitoring. Every meal, every sleep session, every training minute feeds predictive performance algorithms. This isn't basic nutrition, it's applied chronobiology, synchronizing protein, carb, and micronutrient timing with circadian rhythms and match demands. Weekly blood tests measure cortisol, testosterone, inflammation, oxidative stress. If anything deviates even slightly from optimal, the system recalibrates in real time. It's legal sports pharmacology, bordering on science fiction. Each night, Messi spends time in a hyperbaric chamber to boost cell oxygenation and recovery. Each morning, he does cryotherapy to fight microscopic inflammation. Each afternoon, neuromuscular activation designed not to build muscle but to sharpen brain-to-body connection, that half second that separates an average shot from an impossible goal. All of this happens away from cameras. The public sees the smiling Messi signing autographs. They don't see the one waking up at 6 a.m. for 30 minutes of electrical muscle stimulation before breakfast. The difference between the two Messis? Myth and machine. And the machine is the one preparing to win another World Cup. But here's the twist. This entire regime wasn't designed by Inter Miami. It was created by Argentina's national team staff in direct coordination with Messi's camp. The club merely executes the plan like a satellite branch of the Alba Celeste. Every decision made in Florida serves a single purpose: to ensure Messi reaches mid-2026 in the most efficient shape of his life. Not peak speed or stamina, those days are gone, but peak decision efficiency, that mental physical state where every touch counts, every pass splits lines, every shot finds the corner. Ex-players who've watched him train whisper something eerie. Messi is slower in sprinting, yes, but faster in thought, as if his brain made up for what his legs lost. That cognitive quickness, invisible in stats but devastating on the pitch, is the real reason he could win another World Cup. Modern football isn't won by legs. It's won by minds that process chaos a half second faster than everyone else. Now imagine the next layer, the invisible pact with Tata Martino. Often seen just as Inter Miami's coach, Martino is in fact the executor of an unwritten agreement between Messi, Argentina, and the club, to manage every minute of Messi's time like the last drops of fuel before liftoff. Having coached him at Barcelona and with the national team, Martino knows precisely when Messi can push and when to stop. Throughout this MLS season, he implemented a preventative rotation system: rest before fatigue, not after. Messi trained in small space match simulations, mental stimulation without physical toll, the footballing equivalent of a flight simulator. Sharp brain, fresh legs. Game after game, rival teams couldn't solve the puzzle. Apply that to a World Cup, most players arriving exhausted after 40-plus games, Messi arriving preserved, at full efficiency. The advantage isn't marginal, it's structural. And there's an emotional side too. Martino rebuilt the locker room's emotional architecture. Bringing in Busquets and Alba wasn't only tactical, it was psychological. Familiar voices, familiar chemistry, the same emotional grammar Messi had at Barca. They know when to push, when to let him breathe, when to let him speak, and when just to follow his silence. Miami became a psychological bunker that shields him from mental fatigue. What closes the loop is the constant line between Miami and Argentina's technical staff. Data on physical load, performance, and recovery flow weekly to Buenos Aires. Inter Miami operates like Argentina's permanent prep base, Messi's personal tuning center. So when Scaloni plans for 2026, he won't work with vague assumptions. He'll have 18 months of precise data on Messi's body and mind. That's priceless. No other national team enjoys such insights into their cornerstone player. Now, connect every point. A tactical system built to conserve him, a physical regime that optimizes every biological detail, a coach managing minutes as energy doses, and an emotional network insulating him from chaos. This is no luck, it's a 2-year engineering project built for one outcome: Messi lifting his second World Cup in 2026. And the numbers back it up. elite goals, decisive assists, clutch performances, all achieved with a fraction of the physical cost. Messi isn't declining. He's evolving into his final optimized form for one last strike of glory. But there's something else, something no stat or medical analysis can quantify. It's the psychological field the entire football world has unknowingly paved for him. An era where experience trumps speed, control beats chaos, and a veteran who runs less can still decide finals because his mind runs faster than anyone's legs. Picture a big night in the US, stadium packed, pink shirts waving beside Argentine flags, chants flipping between English and Spanish. Messi steps out, looks around, and for the first time in years, the pressure isn't hostile. No boos, no media witch hunts, only devotion. That energy doesn't just protect him, it trains him. Each MLS night, with thousands waiting for one single magical moment, becomes mental simulation for the World Cup stage. And unlike Europe, mistakes here aren't punished with toxicity. The brain learns freedom, freedom to risk, to fail, to try again. And when Messi feels free, his creativity turns ruthless again. There's a recurring scene this season. Close match, 70th minute, Messi drifts deep, collects the ball, and instead of accelerating, he slows everything down. He raises his head, and time seems to freeze. Defenders rush, teammates move, the crowd holds its breath. He delivers a pass or a strike that cuts the match open. That mastery over time, the ability to bend chaos to rhythm, can only come from years under impossible pressure. And now, in Miami, he's been rehearsing it week after week, across stadiums, climates, and crowds. That's not just showmanship. That's preparation for his final conquest. The easy version says the MLS is simply a lower-level league. That's why Messi shines and looks so dominant. But that explanation oversimplifies something far more complex. The truth is that the type of pressure he experiences in the United States is qualitatively different. It's not the pressure born from the fear of failure, but the pressure of representing a global audience that sees him as a symbol rather than an employee of a club. Every play he makes circles the world within seconds because his image is embedded in the collective memory of modern football. Each match becomes a kind of dress rehearsal for the World Cup, with cameras capturing every gesture, every reaction, every choice, but without the destructive media hysteria that haunted him in other stages of his career. That combination of maximum exposure and moderate punishment has created a unique mental training zone. Imagine a closed-door training session at Inter Miami's facility. No fans, just the soft sounds of sprinklers on the wet grass and short instructions from the coaching staff. Messi receives the ball with his back to goal, pivots on his left leg, and fires it into the top corner. He does it once, then again, then again. He's not only refining the technical gesture, he's engraving a motor response into his nervous system for the moment when World Cup adrenaline shakes his legs. A few days later, he repeats the same move before a packed stadium, with cameras from every continent pointed at him. Each of those moments is part of a disguised training process for the tournament that could elevate him one or two steps higher in football history. How many players on the planet have an environment like this, where every league match doubles as an emotional rehearsal for a World Cup final? Here, another overlooked factor comes into play: the way the league itself has built its narrative around Messi. Over 60% of the online discussions about MLS revolve around his name or that of his team, according to recent fan surveys. That means that even if he only plays one game, the entire week's storylines are built around what he did or didn't do. Whether he was sharp, whether he walked too much, whether he seemed upset with a teammate, or smiled at a kid in the stands. This permanent scrutiny isn't new to Messi. It has followed him since his early days in Barcelona. But what's different now is the emotional environment surrounding that scrutiny. The tone has changed, less brutal, more reverent. Positive focus outweighs corrosive criticism. That balance is crucial because it prepares him for something very specific: handling the deafening noise that will surround every second of Argentina's World Cup campaign without letting it crush his mind. There's also a powerful link between this media environment and television rights. Without diving into financial details, it's obvious that the league and its broadcasters have gone all in on turning every Messi appearance into a global event. That constant demand for narrative, for iconic moments, for viral clips, it all functions like a high-performance mental gym. Messi's brain no longer flinches at the idea of performing something extraordinary under the gaze of millions. He does it almost every week. And when the World Cup arrives, that mental muscle will be stronger than ever. How many of his rivals will come from leagues where, no matter how strong the competition, their individual plays aren't magnified to this level of global scrutiny? So far, we've talked about the body and the mind. But there's one more piece connecting everything: Messi's ability to influence the tactical context around him, not just at his club, but in his national team. And that's where his pact with Tata Martino takes on a dimension beyond training sessions or rotations. Martino, having worked with Messi before, knows exactly what kind of structure brings out his best. What he's built at Inter Miami is essentially a small-scale version of what Argentina could use at the World Cup. A team that doesn't ask him to cover the whole field, one designed with close support networks, freeing him from heavy defensive duties but demanding total focus in the final third. This season, you could see his teammates covering extra ground so Messi could conserve energy and stay upfield, waiting for the perfect moment to strike. Translate that idea into a short World Cup format, and it becomes devastating. Picture a tactical meeting at Argentina's camp, months before the tournament. On the screen, clips of recent Inter Miami games. Messi receiving between the lines, turning freely, threading passes into open space. The staff pauses, rewinds, analyzes. They're not studying MLS, they're studying Messi himself. They want to understand how he moves now, what spaces he occupies most, what patterns he repeats instinctively. They treat him like a new player even though they've known him for years. The goal is clear: adapt the national team to the updated version of Messi, not force him into a system built for who he was 10 years ago. That tactical flexibility, rare among national teams, can be the difference between going out in the quarterfinals and reaching the final. And this leads us to a myth worth dismantling. The easy story claims Messi calls all the shots, picking lineups and shaping tactics to his liking. But the reality is far more sophisticated. Messi has become a kind of luxury consultant on his own performance. He doesn't demand, he reports. If his body tells him he can't make certain runs anymore, he communicates that. If he realizes he's more productive playing deeper, he shares it. It's not about ego, it's about aligning with physical and mental truth. When a national team listens to that and builds accordingly, what you get is near-perfect tactical harmony. What other team can say its star has spent nearly 2 years in a club specifically designed to extend his performance peak until the next World Cup? So, the logic seems flawless: optimized body, mind conditioned under constant pressure, a tactical environment built around his current reality. That should be enough, or should it? Not quite. Because the most unpredictable variable remains: the randomness of football itself. Injuries, refereeing decisions, teammates' form, opponents in the zone. None of that can ever be fully controlled. And yet, there's something else, something that tilts probability in Messi's favor: the hard-earned experience of having already lived the full journey to a world title. Think of what Qatar meant. Messi didn't just win a trophy, he survived an emotional roller coaster. A shock loss to open the tournament, extra times, penalties, moments on the brink. He learned what type of voice the team needs in low moments, which words lift spirits, which silences command unity. That emotional map, combined with the calm that Miami life has given him, has shaped a completely different kind of leader. He's no longer the shy boy carrying a nation alone. He's the seasoned general who knows he's not alone, who recognizes his lieutenants on the field, who knows when to step forward and when to let others take center stage. In a light training session before a friendly, Messi is seen talking quietly with a young teammate. We don't need to hear the words, the body language says it all: hand on the shoulder, steady gaze, calm gestures. He has lived through everything: lost finals, triumphant victories, savage criticism, deafening applause. That emotional archive, expanded even more during his Miami years, is an extraordinary asset in a tournament where psychology weighs as heavily as tactics. Teammates see him walk into the locker room after a tough MLS match, maybe sore, maybe tired, yet radiating serenity. That quiet confidence sends a clear message: whatever comes, he's faced worse before, and he knows how to win. Another scene ties the whole picture together: the MLS Cup celebration with Inter Miami. The stadium exploding, fireworks painting the sky, Argentine flags waving, teammates lifting the trophy beside him. Look closely, though. Messi's expression isn't shock or frantic euphoria. It's joy mixed with confirmation. As if, in his mind, this was just the next checkpoint in a larger mission. Not the destination, but a necessary step towards something greater. And that connects to the main idea: Miami isn't retirement. It's a laboratory. A lab where the formula has already been tested and proven. Manage the body, manage the mind, manage the environment, and then win finals. All of that work has one very specific goal: maximizing the chances of Messi feeling that same sensation again, lifting another World Cup. That's the emotional nucleus behind every decision taken in recent years. Every minute he skips in MLS is a minute saved for a possible extra time on North American soil. Every recovery session with cutting-edge tech is a bid to ensure that when he faces an exhausted defender in the 110th minute, he'll have a hidden reserve of energy left. Every tactical adjustment around his movements is an investment, so that if a final gets tight, his teammates instinctively know how to get him the ball in the exact spot that hurts the most. And now comes the execution of the third great promise: the pact with the coach, the understanding of when to accelerate and when to pause, when to enter and when to exit. In Miami, that pact has been visible in decisions that often baffled outsiders. Messi resting in crucial weeks, rotating out even when the team needed him, exiting matches still in the balance. From the outside, it looked cautious or even fearful. Inside, it was something else entirely: the preservation of a finite resource that cannot be wasted. Picture an MLS game, 65th minute, score tied. The coach checks the bench, whispers with the fitness coach, studies the data, and decides to sub him off. Fans groan, commentators argue, but the cold numbers say he's hit the safety line that could cost them dearly later. These decisions only happen when there's complete trust between player and manager. Translated to the World Cup, that agreement becomes monumental. It means Messi will accept leaving a group stage match that's practically secured, even if his ego tells him to stay. It means acknowledging that his best version isn't the one that plays every minute, but the one that appears exactly when it's needed most. It means the dynamic with the bench has evolved beyond rigid hierarchies, into a joint reading of what his body can actually sustain. When you see a player of his magnitude walking off without frustration, without looks of resentment, without theatrics, you're witnessing something invisible but profound: the understanding that precision, not volume, is now his greatest weapon. The final scene that ties it all together could look like this: a North American stadium, World Cup semifinal or final. Last minutes of regulation or extra time. Messi gets the ball near the box, surrounded by defenders who've already run nearly 15 kilometers. He, protected for years, still has one spark left in his legs and more calm in his mind. Instead of forcing an impossible shot, he waits half a second longer, spots the invisible gap, and slides the perfect pass, or shapes a shot so precise it moves like it was pre-programmed for the net. To most, it'll look like another piece of Messi magic. But what's behind that moment is thousands of controlled choices: preemptive rests, specialized training, unpopular substitutions, and brutally honest self-readings. That moment, if it happens, will be the culmination of everything Miami stands for. The Messi who runs less but decides more. The Messi who lives in a place that protects him physically and emotionally. The Messi whose league became a mental training ground for the biggest stage of all. The Messi who has turned every match, every title, every American night into silent preparation for one final assault on football history. So the next time you see that thumbnail, Argentina's shirt on one side, Inter Miami's on the other, and the World Cup behind, know that it's more than a striking image. It's a visual summary of a long-term plan built on three decisive pillars: a body managed more carefully than ever, a mind trained under constant pressure, and a pact of trust with those who decide when and how much he should give. If everything aligns, and luck stays on his side, it won't be an exaggeration to say Messi is ready to try and win the hardest tournament in the world again. And if he does, it won't be a surprise. It'll be the logical consequence of an experiment years in the making, with MLS as the laboratory and the next World Cup as the final exam.